We think that pure electric driving is the ultimate goal in the future to drive the cars. If you then ask people, what is your interest in driving electric vehicles? Would you actually buy an electric vehicle? 66% say, yes, I'm going to buy an electric vehicle if the price is equal. But we need to go further. And this is why we defined a strategy, what we call the power of choice. Our goal is to give all the customers exactly the technology, the car that he likes, that fits perfectly to his driving patterns and that he feels comfortable with.
So I think there's so many misconceptions about them that immediately crumble once you start driving them regularly, and that's really what I've been going around the UK talking to people about is what it's really like to drive them every day. So every morning when I wake up at my house, the car has a full tank every morning. It's always full, it's always ready to go. In the summer it's just ready to go. In the winter it's not only ready to go, it's also warm because it has a heater that turns on when on a timer. So the car is preheated before you get in it, which obviously helps with the range. There's so many aspects of driving an electric vehicle that are very different. It's a completely different mindset, and in fact many people I've spoken to who've driven electric cars more than just a test drive have said, I drive better. I'm less aggressive, I'm in less of a stressed mood, there's no gears, there's no clutch, it's just a button, it switches on, there's no noise, it just goes, off it goes. And a lot of people who I know personally who drive, I would say, at the very edge of the legal limit of what you're allowed to drive. They'll go around every roundabout at full speed, they'll accelerate it to the maximum amount, they'll brake at the last moment, all those very good, and often it has to be said, masculine habits of driving just disappear. One of the other things I think is very important is that a lot of the misconceptions about where electricity comes from and CO2 emissions and it's a very common criticism in the UK. Oh, it's all very well for you driving your electric green car, but where does the electricity come from? It comes from burning coal, that produces CO2. Your electric car is just as dirty as my 15-year-old diesel. And the answer to that is, no, it isn't. All the estimates of the CO2 output of an electric vehicle are based on the general running level of the national grid, which is very misleading. And another crucially important point, which is never mentioned by the likes of my compatriot, Mr. Clarkson, is that in 2005, and I'm going to have to check my figures to make sure I get it right, because these figures are from the United Nations Data Statistics Division. In 2005, the UK, for our three main oil refineries, consumed 5,624 gigawatts of electricity to produce petrol, diesel, fertilizer, chemicals, plastics, you know, an amazing array of products that are really important, that we really need, that's really useful. But it consumed a vast amount of electricity, more electricity than the city of Coventry. The arguments against electric vehicles are very loud, very aggressive, very dominant, pounding, pounding, pounding. Electric cars are dirty, dirty, dirty. It's in our press every day. Maybe not yours, because you may have a more enlightened press than we do. Fossil fuels will get more expensive, electric cars will get cheaper. The only argument is where those two lines cross. No one agrees on that. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's going to happen. How many times have I changed my batteries? Not once. Same batteries as I had when it was new. I think now we will discover that the batteries will outlast the car. all the fear was batteries are going to go boom, you know. After 1,000 miles they'll just die. We're used to batteries in our phones and our laptops, and they fail after 3 years and they have a battery management system like this. It's tiny. The car has a battery management system like this. It really protects the battery, keeps it cool, keeps it warm, as Ford have done. It doesn't fill it full, and it doesn't empty it empty. It keeps it within that range. Those batteries will last forever. I think they'll outlast the car. I think the car will be a rusting like that, but the battery will be fine. If you get to 100,000 miles on an electric car, it's cruel. It's unfair on petrol cars. It's not fair, because it will be so much cheaper. There's a very important point I should point out, that I've done 32,000 miles for under £600. 32,000 miles on a petrol car for that, an economy petrol car, £3,500–4,000, and I'd like to compare it with the Range Rover Sport, because I think that's fair. And to drive 32,000 miles in a Range Rover Sport from an engineer who works at Jaguar Land Rover, £17,000.